Speaker number 3, Paul Pastore. Bury the fairy. Bury the fairy, Paul Pastore.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, I believe in fairies. Do you? How many here would say they absolutely positively believe in fairies?
Yeah!
And who would say fairies are humbug? There's no such thing. I used to be an unbeliever just like you, and I'd like to tell you what happened to me that totally changed my mind. It happened a couple months ago when I was leading a Toastmaster meeting. I was on the patio at St. Matthew's, and I heard a little sound. Psst. I looked around, I didn't see anything. And then I heard it again. Psst. And there, about 5 feet above my right shoulder, floating in the morning mist, was a fairy. She was about the size of a sparrow, and she had wings that were flapping frenetically like a hummingbird. I remember distinctly she had a bejeweled tiara. And she had a magic wand. And every time she moved that magic wand, fairy dust would float down to the ground. She looked at me and she said, "Hi, my name's Mary the Fairy. What's yours?" I said, "Well, my name's Paul Pastore." She says, "Pastore? Why, that's Irish, isn't it?" I said, "Irish? What are you, a comedian? You ought to be on the stage. As a matter of fact, there's one leaving in about an hour." She says, "But today's your lucky day, because I'm going to grant you just one wish." And I said, "One wish? Whatever happened to 3 wishes?" She says, "Number 1, I'm just a little fairy, not a big genie. Number 2, we're in a recession. You're a real estate broker, you should know that. And number 3, I'm a Democratic fairy, and you always vote Republican." But what would you wish for if you had just one wish? Why, initially I thought about world peace. Wouldn't that be a wonderful legacy? And then I thought about ending hunger in the world. And then it came to me. I said, "Oh, Mary the Fairy, I know what I want more than anything. I want to know, how do you win a Toastmaster speech contest?" And she says, "That's amazing. That's exactly what Michael Desiderio asked for just a couple of years ago." I said, "Michael Desiderio? You actually spoke to the speech champ, Desiderio?" She says, "Yeah. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told him. It all comes down to one 4-letter word, pain. You see, whoever overcomes the most pain, they're going to win no speech contest." I said, "But Mary the Fairy, I've led a relatively blessed life. I grew up Catholic. I haven't had the diseases and illnesses that Michael claims to contract year after year." She says, "How many times have you been married? Talk about that pain." She says, "Let me tell you about Mary the Fairy's pyramid of pain. You see, as a new Toastmaster, you begin at the base of the pyramid. You begin talking about overcoming little things like tooth decay or even bad breath. Then you work your way up to the center of the pyramid, where you have illnesses, ailments, and diseases." I said, "But Mary the Fairy, I want to win a contest someday. What's at the peak of the pyramid of pain?" She says, "Well, then you'd have to talk about an insidious illness, something that nobody in District 3 has ever had before. Something like elephantitis." I said, "Elephantitis? You mean like in that movie with Cher?" She says, "Yeah, can you make an elephant sound?" I said, "Sure." She says, "That's wonderful, I'm going to work on that speech." And just before she was about to pirouette into nothingness, I says, "Mary, could I ask you a question?" She says, "By all means." I said, "I'm a real estate broker. Times are tough. It's hard getting houses sold. What do you suggest?" She says, you've been burying those St. Joseph statues upside down in the backyard? I said, yeah, and on the bigger houses, we're burying life-size statues. She says, stop doing that and bury these. And she gave me some little Mary the Fairy statues, and I've been burying these in the backyard upside down. Houses been selling like hotcakes. It's like 2004 all over again. Multiple offers above list price as soon as the sign goes up. And if you have any friends or relatives with real estate needs, have them give me a call. We'll bury a fairy. And when you go out tonight and you look into the heavens and you see all the stars, why, some of them will be twinkling. Those aren't stars. Those are fairies